This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister says the development work in the country will be continued. National agricultural policy will be prepared within 3 months. The state Christmas festival begins in Kurunegala. The tally of coronavirus cases reported in the country thus far is 36,049. And in news overseas, Italy, the latest European country to order Christmas lockdown. Those are the headlines, and I move on to the details of the local news. Construction work on the third phase of the Central Expressway from Puthuhera to Galagadara commenced today. The groundbreaking ceremony kicked off under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Puthuhera-Galagadara stretch of the expressway spans over 32 kilometers and consists of 4 lanes and 4 interchanges at Polgahavala, Rambukkana, Galagadara and Puthuhera. Participating as a chief guest of the event, the Prime Minister said the development work in the country has begun after the ending of the long period of war. He also stated that the continuous development activities in the countries were obstructed during the last government. He reiterated that all construction work of the Central Expressway would be completed in a few years. The present government has fulfilled massive development work on behalf of the country during the 3-month period of their office. He also stated the confidence placed on the government by the people will be safeguarded. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the message of love on human beings always safeguarded at instances of difficulties faced by the Catholic community in the country. He said the feeling of faith and the confidence of love is more important at a juncture of difficult period as faced today. He made these remarks at the state Christmas ceremony held at Fatima Church in Malkaduawa, Kurunegala today. This year's theme is Christmas is the symbol of love on human beings. He also emphasized that every possible measure will be taken to create a society that can live according to the teachings of all the religions. He also thanked the Catholic Bishops' Federation for giving permission to conduct the state Christmas festival in Kurunegala. Catholics around the world have to celebrate Christmas according to health guidelines this year. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
And we continue with more local news. The Ministry of Health says that 491 patients being treated for COVID-19 have recovered and discharged from hospitals within the last 24 hours. The new development brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 27,552. The tally of coronavirus cases reported in the country thus far is 36,049, while 8,332 of them are currently under medical care. The COVID death toll has risen to 165. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister says the development work in the country will be continued. National agricultural policy will be prepared within 3 months. The state Christmas festival begins in Kurunegala. The tally of coronavirus cases reported in the country thus far is 36,049. And that was the local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The main news story for this evening, Minister Mahinda Alutgabage says that a national agricultural policy will be prepared within 3 months. An intelligent committee appointed in this regard met yesterday at the Gad-Norway Agricultural Research Institute. The committee is comprised with 13 members. The chairman of the committee is Additional Secretary to the Ministry, Dr. Ajanta Silva. He requested the committee to prepare this national policy as it is a national need. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And in Washington this evening, police said a bus heading to Katargama from Colombo was taken into police custody yesterday along with 51 passengers for violating quarantine regulations. Police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said the bus was detected at the Mattala exit point of the Southern Expressway following information received by the Barella police. He said one passenger who was a permanent resident of isolated Vanathamulla Gramaniladari division had been among the passengers of the bus. He said legal action will be taken against the owner of the bus, the driver and the assistant. That came to you in Washlight, and now we move on to the headlines of the world news. Italy, the latest European country to order Christmas lockdown. US approves Moderna as second vaccine. Pompeo says Russia clearly behind a SolarWinds operation. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. Italy has ordered a nationwide lockdown over much of the Christmas and New Year period in an effort to combat the rising coronavirus cases. The country will be under red zone restrictions over the public holidays, with non-essential shops, restaurants and bars closed, and Italians only allowed to travel for work, health and emergency reasons. Limited home visits will be allowed. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte said it was not an easy decision. The experts were seriously worried that there would be a jump in cases over Christmas. Italy has recorded the highest COVID death toll in Europe with close to 68,000 fatalities. Moderna has been approved by the US government as the country's second COVID-19 vaccine, clearing the way for millions of doses to be released. The Food and Drug Administration authorized the US-made jab about a week after approving Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which is now being distributed. The US has agreed to purchase 200 million doses of Moderna, and 6 million may be ready to ship now. The country has the world's highest number of COVID-19 deaths and cases. It has recorded more than 313,500 deaths and about 17.5 million infections, according to Johns Hopkins University. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has blamed Russia for what is being described as the worst ever cyber espionage attack on the U.S. government. They can say pretty clearly that it was the Russians that engaged in this activity, Mr. Pompeo said yesterday. He did not provide details about the alleged links to Moscow, and Russia has denied any involvement in the attack. The hack, targeting software made by the U.S. firm SolarWinds, was discovered last week but has been going on for months. Among the U.S. agencies targeted was the office that manages nuclear weapons. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Italy, the latest European country to order Christmas lockdown. US approves Moderna as second vaccine. Pompeo says Russia clearly behind SolarWinds operation. That concludes the world news, and on to the development news. The work of the Tourism Development Zone in Nuwara Eliya commenced today. A tourism zone will be established centering Nuwara Eliya to Kitulgala, Kandy and Badulla. An additional cable car network will also be set up from Nuwara Eliya to Nanuoya. This program will be put into action, ensuring an environmentally friendly zone. And from that, we move on to sports news. A lack of intent with the bat on day 3 and dropped catches on day 2 cost India the Adelaide Test, Virat Kohli has said. This was the first time India has lost a test after winning the toss under Kohli's captaincy, but for a large part of the match, the record looked like it would remain intact. India bowled Australia out for 191 to take a significant lead of 53, but were bowled out for their lowest test total of 36 in the second innings to set Australia only 90 to win. That was the sports news and business news. Up next, the government has decided to utilize the Memorandum of Understanding on Strategic Economic Partnership with Thailand to increase the investment opportunities. A discussion in this regard was held between the Thailand ambassador to Sri Lanka, Chulamani Chatswan, and Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Attention was also focused to expand the investment policies between the two countries. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Economic news, courtesy of
Just move on real time, save more, LOLC real time. Paying the premium for transactions, simply save now real time. Day night, no trouble for your transactions, LOLC real time. Download LOLC Finance real time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and more benefits.
And in economic news, the central bank says treasury bills worth over 40 billion rupees will be issued on the 22nd of this month. It will expire in 91, 162 and 364 days. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says northeast monsoon conditions have been established over the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north central and Nuwa provinces and in the Matale and Hambantota districts. Fairly heavy falls above 35 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern province and in the Matale and Pulan Narwa districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Kaluthara, Gaul and Matara districts after 2 p.m. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 km per hour can be expected in the northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Matale and Hambantota districts. That was a weather report. Before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's take a recap of the headlines. The Prime Minister says the development work in the country will be continued. National Agricultural Policy will be prepared within 3 months. The state Christmas festival begins in Kurunagala. The tally of coronavirus cases reported in the country thus far is 36,049. And in news overseas, Italy, the latest European country to order Christmas lockdown. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And now it's back to your Saturday evening host and my good friend Niranjan Avisundara to keep you entertained.